Welcome everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at some official Cyberpunk reviews from some of the largest organisations that have got hands onto this game early. This game is less than 2 days away, we can hold it a little bit more longer, but today we're going to find out what to expect from this game, what problems there currently are with the game, and that will give us a good idea on what to expect when we first play Cyberpunk. Now just to let you know, there's not going to be any leaks, anything like that, so don't worry about that on this video. If you enjoy it, be sure to scroll down, click that subscribe button if you haven't already, be sure to join the family so you don't miss out on any Cyberpunk content with less than 2 days to go. But now that out of the way, let's take a look at some official Cyberpunk reviews. Now this game has gone down in history as being the most hyped up game of this generation with around 10 years of anticipation. Many people are wondering, has this game been hyped up too much? So the first review we're going to be taking a look at is from IGN, which is by far one of the largest, if not the largest online media organisation. There are millions of people that rely on IGN to decide on whether or not they want to purchase a specific game. So IGN got hands onto this game early. The first thing they had to say is that the story mode or the main quest is much shorter than expected, and that's a little bit of a drawback for some people because of course people want the story mode and the main missions to be a very long time. But they did mention, although the main quest is very short, the side jobs and the side missions and the amount of content that is in Night City makes up for the very short main quest. So it's not like you're going to have a lack of content, and after you finish all of the main missions, there's still going to be tons more to explore and loads of side missions and fun things to do. They also mentioned how they randomly stumbled across side missions they didn't even know were in the game. They just randomly happened to stumble across them, and that's something we're going to be doing a lot because there is so much to do. You're randomly going to walk in a street and there'll be a side mission there waiting for you. Now is time for the bad news. And to be honest, this isn't the worst news in the world. So the negative side they had to say about Cyberpunk were the fact that there are loads of glitches and bugs currently in the game. Now there is a day one patch that's due to come out when Cyberpunk launches. However, I don't think they're going to manage to sort out all of the bugs in the matter of a few days. They mentioned how sometimes things would disappear on screen, things would glitch out in the game, and for example, character customization can be messed up at times. If you customize your character's hair, sometimes in cutscenes it shows a different style hair. But the overall score that they have given is an impressive 9 out of 10. Now I just want to say IGN are usually not that generous with their scores. In the latest Call of Duty game for multiplayer, they gave it a 6 out of 10, and I love the multiplayer of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. That is how strict they are with scoring these games. The fact that they've given it a 9 out of 10 is amazing. I truly think they would have given it a 10 out of 10 if the main quest was slightly longer and there weren't as many bugs in the game. But honestly, a 9 out of 10 is a very strong start, and it's going to encourage the millions of people that read this review. Now, something you guys are going to notice out of all of these reviews in this video is that they're all very similar in terms of the things that were negative and positive out of the game. So I truly think these reviews are reliable purely because they're all pretty much the same. But the next one we have is from Games Radar, which is also a very huge website that reviews games. They said that the core campaign was surprisingly short. They were expecting it to be much longer, and just like with IGN, they both said that the campaign was very short. So the fact that 2 websites have now said about the main missions and the quests being short, don't expect there to be loads of main missions. The amount of side jobs and missions and content that is around the map makes up for the short quest. They also said the map can look quite intimidating at first because there are so many icons scattered around the map. However, this means that there's also a lot of content to do and a lot to explore around the map. So when you first load into Cyberpunk, you might find it a little bit intimidating seeing all of these icons around the map. If anything, this is a good thing rather than a bad thing. I'm pretty sure I heard one of the developers say that they've been working on this game for many years, and even some of the developers have not explored 100% of Cyberpunk's map, and they haven't explored everything there is to offer. So even the developers that have created this game for so many years, even they haven't been able to explore everything Cyberpunk has to offer. So that just goes to show how much content there's going to be. Now, the downside that Games Radar mentioned about Cyberpunk are the visual bugs that they experienced. Sometimes they were missing vehicles, sometimes things were floating around the screen, such as floating weapons and other floating items, which ruined the experience in some ways, but they still rated the game 5 out of 5, even though they experienced some of these bugs. And IGN also experienced the same bugs, so that just goes to show that these bugs are going to be present, and if you're going to play Cyberpunk on the first day of launch, just just expect there to be some bugs here and there, which you would expect with any game that launches. Now, GameSpot actually reviewed this the lowest I've ever seen an online website review the game so far. They gave this a 7 out of 10. Now, let's take a look at why they rated this a 7. As you guys can see, on the good side, there's plenty of flexibility in the RPG mechanics to build a character to suit your desired playstyle. Quick hacking combat is satisfying to execute and turns combat scenarios into elaborate puzzles. Side quests and characters provide the most interesting and human moments in the game. Keanu Reeves' Johnny Silverhand adds dimension to nearly every quest, forcing you to rethink your decision-making instincts. So that's really exciting alone. But the bad side, and the reason why they rated it a 7, is firstly because there's so much to do that isn't meaningful. There's going to be side missions in the game that aren't relatable to Cyberpunk or the story, which I'm actually fine about. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that you're going to be doing things that aren't related to the lore or aren't related to the Cyberpunk story, but they've seen this as a bad thing. They also go on to say that there's choices that have no real purpose. They also went on to say the main story doesn't cohere with the rest of the game with an urgency that's at odds with everything else. And lastly, they said the technical issues, so the bugs that also the other review websites mentioned, that can get so bad that it ruins the experience. They did mention that it's impossible to ignore, so I'm guessing the bugs are a little bit of a problem at the moment. So I'm hoping the first thing they're going to focus on is bringing out some patch updates to get rid of the bugs. But honestly, I would rather play the game with bugs than not play the game at all, because we've already waited too long for this game to come out. And lastly, to end on a positive, Metacritic website has given this rating 91%, 44 reviews overall on that website, and that is a very high rating for that website. And there will be millions of people looking on that website, seeing the 91% rating, and then they're probably going to go out and buy the game purely on reviews. There are people in this world that take reviews seriously, and they won't purchase a game unless it's got really good reviews. So I'm going to wrap this video up here. I mainly wanted to have a discussion with you guys and take a look at the first impressions from these big online media organizations that have got early access to the game. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you even care about reviews, or will you be purchasing the game anyway? If you enjoyed, be sure to scroll down, leave a like, be sure to subscribe, all of that good stuff if you haven't already. I can't wait for this game to finally launch. The content is going to be huge, but nonetheless, thank you all for watching. Take care.